Today we know that India is a diverse country with its own composite culture. So why do we call it a diverse country? Well, you can take a look at all of these pictures. In India we have all of these various religions, people from different places wear different costumes, we have our own food, and we have various different languages, right? So there is a lot of diversity present in India. But why are we calling it composite? Well, composite means something which is mixed or blended together. So this happened because during the medieval period, many new people came and settled down in India, and they brought with themselves different languages, their own food culture, their own habits, their own clothes. And so all of these new things from outside mixed with our own Indian culture and gave rise to a new culture, which was the composite culture. So let's go and learn about this now. Well, before that, a different thing was also happening during that point of time. These were the Sufi movement and the Bhakti movement. So now, can you think of some examples of this composite culture? Well, if you take a look at Indian architecture, you can see various different cultures mixing together in these pictures. Apart from that, there is also a lot of diversity present in our literature. Well, how do we know so much about these things? Well, you see, whenever historians have to find out anything, they look at two things. These are the literary sources and the archaeological sources that come to us from that point of time. So today we are going to learn about these various sources.
ऐसी बानी बोलिए मन का पाखो और उनको शीतल करे आप हूँ शीतल होए कबीरा आप हूँ शीतल हो.
Well, what you just heard was one of the dohas written or composed by Kabirdas himself. So who is that? He was a 15th century saint in northern India. So he was one of the main Bhakti saints in North India, and he had many dohas which were compositions which can be found today in his Bijak, which was a book. So in that book, which is one of the literary sources, we can find many dohas which tell us about the Bhakti movement and that particular time period. Let us now look at one of his dohas. Let us try to understand what Kabir was trying to tell us. ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा खोए औरन को शीतल करे आप हो शीतल होए. So what does he try to say by that? What is the meaning? He meant that there is no sharper or harsher weapons than words. So we should always be compassionate and we should always talk with a lot of love. He also said that we should not show our ego and we should not brag or gloat and never harm anyone else. So basically Kabirdas is trying to tell us that we should always be compassionate and never be hurtful towards another person. What you just heard was another one of dohas composed by Kabirdas himself, which is being performed in recent times by modern artists. So from that you can understand that even in this day and age, his teachings are very much popular. So from this particular doha, he was trying to criticize both Hindus and Muslims for their meaningless rituals and traditions. What he was trying to say is that we must try and reach our God with love and devotion, and these rituals and traditions that we take part in are absolutely useless. So this is another thing that we can understand from Kabir's Bijak. Now, during this point of time, we also get a new religion, which was Sikhism, during the 15th century in India. And who founded this religion? It was founded by Guru Nanak Dev, and his followers are called Sikh people. Now, from Sikhism, we get the Guru Granth Sahib. Now, what is Guru Granth Sahib? Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of the Sikhs, and it teaches us, or it preaches about equality, and it also teaches us that men and women are equal. and one should practice kindness, compassion and love. So, what is inside the Guru Granth Sahib? Well, you see, during that time there was the Bhakti movement and the Sufi movement. So, a lot of new saints were coming in and they also had their own teachings and their own thoughts. So, all of these were also recorded in the Guru Granth Sahib. Some of these saints include Baba Farid, Kabirdas and Jayadeva. So, the Guru Granth Sahib contains the spiritual teachings of 10 Sikh Gurus first and foremost, and it also contains the teachings of Sufi and Bhakti saints like Kabirdas, Ramdas, Jayadeva, Surdas and Baba Farid. So, from the Guru Granth Sahib, which also acts as another literary source to us, we get that information and that knowledge about this time period. So, even the Guru Granth Sahib acts as a very important literary source which tells us about this particular time period. Now, take a look at this picture here. Do you recognize this place? Well, if your answer is Ajmer Sharif Dargah, then you're absolutely right. You see, this is a very important place. Why so? Well, because this is the burial place of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. Who was this? This was the person who established the Chishti order in India. So, he was a very important saint of that time, and this is an archaeological source because this tells us about Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. And inside you can even find various teachings by him. And this place is so important because today it is visited by a lot of Hindus and Muslims alike, because his followers were both Hindus and Muslims. So, this place acts as a pilgrimage site for both Hindus and Muslims. Other than that, a new religion was also starting in India now. This was Christianity, which came to India in 52 AD, right? And in these paintings, you can see Christian missionary preaching to South Indian fishermen in the 19th century. So, from this particular painting, we get to learn about this particular thing. Other than that, during Akbar's reign, Akbar was very much tolerant towards different faiths and different religions, and he invited some of the Jesuit priests that were there in India at that point of time. And so, in this particular painting, you can see Pope Francis I, Akbar the Great and the Jesuits having a meeting. So, these two again act as great sources because these are real paintings that have been found that tell us about that point of time. We also have another archaeological source. What is this? This is the Church of Saint Francis, which is there in Kochi, which was built by the Portuguese people. You see, this was dedicated to Saint Francis of Assisi, right? So, well, do you know Vasco da Gama? Well, you know that this church also had his remains for a time period. However, they were removed. Now you see, as I said, that this church was built by Portuguese people, right? These people practiced a particular sect of Christianity, and there are many different sects in Christianity. So, these people were Roman Catholics. However, when the Dutch came in power, when the Dutch controlled this church, they were Protestants. And finally, when the Britishers came in power, these Britishers were Anglicans. So, you can see how various different sects of Christianity also controlled this particular church, which is a very important historical monument, and it is currently protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. So, from all of this, we can understand that India is indeed a diverse country. Take a look at this painting here. This also acts as a source. Here you can see Jahangir playing Holi with the woman of his court. So, you can see how a Mughal ruler who was a Muslim was playing Holi, which is a Hindu festival, right? So, you can understand how diversity and inclusion was there in India since that point of time. So, even today in modern India, we can see how people are tolerant towards each other's religion. We also have our own various cultures, our food habits, our dressing sense, right? So, all of these have been continued since the medieval ages, and we even have various different sources to prove all of that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free on DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app and get easy access to more than 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million+ questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and get a chance to win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So, at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So, register for free now.